and gentlemen, welcome to RENEBOXYOUNG, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, and analyze, simply talk about the sport of boxing in a level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Subscribers since day one, recent subscribers, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Flash Lives, premieres of my videos such as this. It's everything, man. Playback family, salute, commenting in the comment sections of the videos, tuning in real time, chatting away there. Just in all manners, you guys are supporting. You're amazing, you know what I'm saying? I thank you guys so much. If you're new to the platform, if you love the sport of boxing, this is definitely the place for you. It's as simple as that, man. Simple, easy peasy, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I push my content such as this, premieres, you know what I'm saying, flash lives, etc. Follow me on Instagram. Also, you can TikTok and Twitter, you know what I'm saying, definitely. And thank you guys so much for all support. You can also support via Cash App, $RENEBOXYOUNG, Cash App, $RENEBOXYOUNG. And as always, those who have supported via that manner, I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much, man. I want to talk about, you know, the fights that we saw over the weekend. Mainly, I want to focus on Vergil Ortiz, but I just want to give my 2 cents real quickly on, you know, Blair the Flair Cobbs, woo, versus Hooker. You know, I was, you know, in the build-up to this fight, I went live, you know, recently before that fight in the build-up and the fight week, if I'm not mistaken, and I talked about, you know, that I was explaining how I was more excited to see, you know, Hooker versus Cobbs, more excited and more interested in that bout as opposed to Vergil Ortiz versus McKinson. If I'm pronouncing that dude's name wrong, I'm sorry. I never heard of the dude, man. I'm just gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? Vergil Ortiz himself. I said it in my live session. You know, on fight week. I said, you know, don't blame me. Vergil Ortiz didn't really know who the dude was anyway. So he himself admitted it in an interview. So he said, I don't really know the guy. You know, he's just getting prepared to fight him, and that's it. So we don't really know who he is either. And all due respect to McKinson, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say here is I was more excited, man. I was more interested or intrigued, at least, in seeing Blair Cobbs, you know, versus Hooker, because they were both coming off of losses. Cobbs, I think that, you know, I felt that he wanted to prove something, definitely coming back from that loss against Alexis Rocha. You know, crazy. He really got pounded in that fight. But hey, he came back, you know, he fought Hooker. Hooker, man, I mean, you know, you see comments out there, and I agree with a lot of the comments where they say, you know, that Hooker, man, he's shot. He's out of it. He should retire. Who knows, man? Who knows if he's going to continue fighting, man? But Hooker, man, unfortunately, seems like they put him in there against the guys that are coming up to get beat up, you know, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, at this point. Ever since he moved up to 147, it just seems like Hooker, man, I don't know, or maybe he'll move down to 140, but I doubt it because I don't think it'll be healthy for him, you know, health-wise with his body going down to 140 again to fight there and compete. But Hooker, man, I don't know. I wish the best for him. You know, Cobbs, man, you know, he did quite well, knocked down Hooker several times. You guys saw the fight, I'm sure, but if you didn't, I mean, he did quite well. But towards around the second half of the fight, this is the thing I saw in Cobbs, that he just, you know, used too much of his feet, man, just hopping around the ring too much. You know, Cobbs got to work a little bit more. You know, he's growing. I don't think he's ranked the top 15, as a matter of fact, in any of the sanctioned bodies. He's growing, man. He just needs to be more active. And I hope to see him more active in the welterweight division. He got a nice win, though, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't like how he stopped the activity. He stopped engaging much, you know, around the upper part or maybe around halfway through the fight and so on. He just wasn't as active anymore in the ring, you know what I'm saying? I want to see him more engage a little bit more. The first half of the fight, man, he was doing pretty good. He was, you know, he's okay. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, hats off to Cobbs. We'll see what's next for him. I really don't know, and I'm not really interested, honestly, in who he's calling out at this point, okay? At this point, you know, I don't think he should be rushed right now in the welterweight division, man. You know, just take it step by step, you know what I'm saying? Just coming off a loss, got this win against Hooker, which is nice, you know what I'm saying? Keep moving up, Cobbs. Keep working on his craft. I think he has to work more on combos, more on, you know, just the skills in the ring, man, you know, because Hooker was landing some nice shots against Cobbs, and it looked like Cobbs, he was gassing out around the halfway of the fight, you know, halfway through the fight. He has to work on the stamina, just like with a lot of these fighters, just like, you know, time and time again, I mentioned it several times throughout the time, you know, that I push content here on this channel. Those who go way back there, you know, I would talk a lot about that, how a lot of these fighters, man, they gas out too quick. Seems like, you know, Cobbs got a little bit too emotional when he knocked down Hooker several times, you know, in the duration of whatever rounds it was, and, you know, he tried to take Hooker out of there, but Hooker, man, you know, I guess we can consider him a veteran, and he knew what to do, man. He, you know, he toughed it out. Hooker toughed it out, and he kind of came back, but then again, he really didn't come back, Hooker, because he didn't really throw much shots at all, man. Hooker, I don't know, you know, that's what I'm saying. That's why a lot of people are saying that, and I agree to a certain degree, definitely, with what people are saying out there, that Hooker's a shot fighter, man. Seems like he's a shot fighter. I mean, he probably should retire at this point, you know, in his career. And hey, shouts out to Hooker in his career, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Cobbs came back from his loss and beat Hooker. You know, I don't know if I would say in an impressive fashion, and I don't even know if I want to say that, you know, he was like really in there dominating. The first half he was of the fight, but then the second half, I don't know what Cobbs was doing really. You know, I guess he gassed out, and it seems like he just tried to stay at bay and play it safe. You know, that's what I'm saying. I think Cobbs got to work on more things, but hey, step by step, brick by brick, stone by stone for Cobbs. Salute for, you know, to Cobbs for his victory. And switching over to, but what do you think? Just real quick before we get to Vergil Ortiz, because I got a couple things to say about that. But who do you think Cobbs should fight next? Maybe someone like a Jamal James or something like that. You know what I'm saying? The lower tier of the top 15. You know, there are other names out there, but I can't remember all these names. But you know, maybe something like that. Maybe a Mario Barrios. That would be nice. Mario Barrios versus Cobbs. But like I said, I don't remember the rankings, man. I don't know if Cobbs is ranked the first 15, top 15, and amongst the top 15, sorry, in the 4 sanctioning bodies. I don't think he is, man. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody there in the Premier, you know, who are tuning in live, or Playback family, go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong. If Cobbs is ranked amongst the 15 in the 4 sanctioning bodies, I don't think he is. I don't think he is. But if he is, you know, maybe Mario Barrios would be nice. See a fight between him and Cobbs. Maybe Jamal James. I don't know what Jamal James is doing as of late either. Inactivity, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know when his last fight was. I don't know. But just when we're talking about names, right? Mean Machine, not so sure about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But then again, Mean Machine, I don't know when his last fight was. I don't follow those guys, man. I really don't follow them. But maybe Mean Machine would be a little bit too much for Cobbs, man, at this point. You know what I'm saying? That's my point. So we can understand where I see Cobbs. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? So shouldn't rush it, but he should be active, though. You know what I'm saying? He has to keep working on his craft. You know what I'm saying? So salute to Cobbs for his victory, definitely. I had him winning, too, as a matter of fact, in the lead up. You know what I'm saying? And fight week when I went live, I had him winning, definitely. And also, I think everybody had Vergil Ortiz winning, so we'll transition to that right now. Vergil Ortiz versus McKinson, man. I don't think anyone really knew. Maybe just the hardcore guys out there, you know what I'm saying, that follow the sport really close, and all these underdogs or whatever, people who a lot of people don't really know about. I don't consider myself one of those people, you know what I'm saying, that follow all these underdogs like that, like McKinson. I had no freaking idea who that was. I had no idea who that guy was, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons why I was more intrigued in Hooker and Cobbs. You know what I'm saying? I was, because, you know, the trajectory and the context of them fighting each other, you know, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. So, you know, McKinson, man, interesting, because he was giving Vergil Ortiz a hard time. This is going to lead into what I'm trying to say with what I want to say about Vergil Ortiz, okay? McKinson was giving Ortiz a hard time. Now, I didn't follow this as far as, maybe you guys can tell me there in the chat, or the Playback family, you know what I'm saying, or those who are tuning in real time right now in the chat. I understand, man. I think Vergil Ortiz is not, you know, he wasn't trained by Robert Garcia in this fight. I don't know what's going on there, and I think he changed coaches. I think Vergil Ortiz had a new trainer, but, you know, I don't know, man. But the thing here is this. Vergil Ortiz was having a hard time, man, the first couple rounds maybe, or throughout the fight, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say he was, like, completely struggling against McKinson, but McKinson had that interesting style, southpaw, if I remember correctly. Kind of slippery, man. Kind of hard to hit. And this is it. Vergil Ortiz was having a hard time against McKinson. And McKinson, all due respect, man, I had no idea who that guy was. And I think the majority of us didn't really know who that guy was. Let's just be real. Kind of the same thing. This is funny because, or this is interesting because we saw the same thing between Pitbull and Tank Davis. Nobody knew who the freak Pitbull was. I did, because he's a Mexican fighter, and I've seen him a couple times before he fought Tank. I've seen him fight, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he was a little bit more known here in Mexico. But generally speaking, let's just be realistic, guys. A lot of people started researching on Pitbull when he was announced to fight Tank. Before that, no one knew who the heck Pitbull was. And just because somebody doesn't know who an underdog is, you know, like in my case, you know, I didn't know who McKinson was. I didn't know really much. I did know about Pitbull, but not much. I've seen him fight a couple times before Tank Davis. But my point is, a lot of us think that just because nobody has heard of such and such a fighter, that they're gonna suck in a fight. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case, and that wasn't the case with Pitbull and Tank. That's why Tank, after the fight, said he didn't want to rematch Pitbull. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody thought they were gonna. You know, everybody and their mama thought Tank was gonna knock out Pitbull. I did. I completely thought he was going to do that, but I totally thought, but no way, he did not, you know. Interesting stuff. McKinson, same thing, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm trying to say. McKinson proved me wrong. Even though, you know, Vergil knocked him out, I figured Vergil Ortiz was going to knock him out, but what I'm trying to say here is, it seems like Vergil was having a hard time with him, man. You know, McKinson surprised many. He surprised many, you know. First several rounds, I was like, man, McKinson, he's pretty good here. This is what I'm saying. Vergil Ortiz, man. Okay, here we go. He's gonna have a hard time with these boxers, man. These highly intelligent fighters. I'm not saying McKinson was all highly intelligent, but he had the rudiments. He had some of those tools that these highly skilled fighters use. The footwork, you know what I'm saying? The southpaw stance was nice, man. He was landing some nice shots on Vergil Ortiz too. You know, many times where Vergil Ortiz would throw a right hand, I think, man. You know, McKinson right under it, boom. You know, and Vergil Ortiz was just catching nothing but air. You know, you see that several times throughout the fight. And you know, a highly skilled fighter. And I know, man. You know, there's a you know, somebody out there. I forgot his name, man. All due respect, so sorry about that. But there's a guy who does like you know, and cartoon type of, you know, images of what's going on in the sport. Salute to him. He's on Instagram. Salute to him, and I think he's on Twitter too. And salute to him. I like the stuff he does. But he put like he recently posted, you know, Vergil Ortiz after the fight, after Vergil Ortiz beat McKinson, he posted a picture. And I know a lot of these platforms are going to do that. Maybe promotional companies out there. Who do you want to see, you know, Vergil Ortiz fight next? Ennis? And we know it's not going to be Ennis. I've been saying this for, you know, I don't think they're going to put, I've been saying this for a minute concerning, you know, when it comes to Vergil Ortiz, when it comes to Jaime Munguia, when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, Zurdo Ramirez, Ryan Garcia. I mean, you kind of see that MO with Golden Boy fighters and, you know, Oscar De La Hoya, and how he's handling these guys, these fighters, and not having them get a loss or a potential big risk in fighting a person where they'll lose. You know, that's just my humble opinion. You know, it is what it is with that, you know. But my point is this. I've been saying this for a minute, man. I after seeing you know, last fight between Vergil Ortiz and McKinson, he's gonna have a problem with these high IQ fighters, man. Thurman, okay, these are the names out there, right? These are the names. And I've been saying this also, man, concerning Bud Crawford. It's most likely possibility we'll see Bud versus Vergil Ortiz, but who even knows if that happens, because I don't think Oscar De La Hoya is going to let Vergil Ortiz fight fighters like Bud Crawford, fight fighters like Ennis. Getting back to that, you know, that you know, family who makes those images, those posts. Man, I forgot, man. I'll put it in the comment section, you know, when I push this video and edit it and stuff like that. Before I push it on YouTube, I'll put the name of that. So reference that, you know, that person. But salute to him. He put an image of, you know, Vergil Ortiz and Ennis like back to back. You know what I'm saying? And he put a comment down there under his image, his post. He put, "Why not?" And I think we all know why not, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think Oscar De La Hoya is gonna throw freaking Vergil Ortiz in there with Ennis. Nah, man. I don't want to say it like this, but I'm gonna say it. You know, whatever. And I know there's gonna be some Vergil Ortiz man fans out there. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? But you know how we do in this channel. I can care less about what race these guys are. I'm Mexican. I live in here, man. I live down here. I live it. I live it. I live it. 100, baby. Been doing it for many years down here. You know what I'm saying? But just because I'm of the, you know, Latino or whatever, I'm not gonna, you know, Vergil Ortiz, yeah, all the way. I don't care if, you know, I don't do that. I look at the sport on how it is. The sport of boxing has no colors. It's limitless. There's no limit. You know, it consists of all races. You know, so I push that aside. We push that aside here on this platform, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about the sport and how it is, and that's it. Face value, baby. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And we love it. So I doubt, man, Vergil Ortiz will be thrown in there by, you know, to fight Tyrone Ennis. I don't think Oscar will do that. I do not think so, because I think Ennis would really make him look bad in there. Ennis would really make Vergil Ortiz look bad in that ring, man. There's another name out there. Now you consider the top three and the three sanctioning bodies. The top three, approximately, roughly, but I think that it is like that. I just don't remember all these names and all these divisions, and the rankings. But if I'm not mistaken, the top three in all these divisions, at least most of them, is Vergil Ortiz. I'm talking about the ones who are not champs, right? Vergil Ortiz, Tyrone Ennis, and Keith Thurman. I think there's another name, unknown name. I never heard of the dude in my life. I think it's a WBA. I don't remember. There was somebody in the rankings who has a weird last name. Never heard of it in my life, but hey, respect. But what I'm trying to say is this, man. These names that are being thrown out there to fight Vergil Ortiz next, because a lot of boxing community, a lot of boxing fans out there, they've been saying this for a minute, and I haven't. I haven't, because I know you can read through this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, since at least a year ago, when people mentioned this whole Vergil Ortiz versus Ennis. I've been saying that's not going to happen, man. They're not going to throw Vergil Ortiz in there with Ennis. You know what I'm saying? Because Ennis will, oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, and Ennis has a fight lined up anyway. But even though after Ennis gets through this other guy he's going to fight, most likely he's going to get through him. And I forgot who his opponent was. I don't remember. But once he gets through him, okay, I'm almost sure it's once he gets through him. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Ennis, man, I've been posting videos about him for a minute when it comes to Ennis talking. I don't want to get back too much into that. But y'all know what's going on with Ennis. And what I saw Vergil Ortiz fight the likes of McKinson and have, you know, difficulties with him, man. I'm not taking anything away from Vergil Ortiz, man. Great win, wonderful shots to the body, just vicious, man. Vergil Ortiz, man, I love watching him fight, and I said this in the lead up to the fight, man. So, you know, anybody who may think I'm getting things twisted with Vergil Ortiz, well, you got to listen to the context of all my videos and everything I push here. That's why you got to rock with this, man. That's what I'm talking about. But Vergil Ortiz, man, I love watching him fight. Aggressive, man. He freaking, you know, he punches. He's fast. This dude's fat. This is the thing, man, about Vergil Ortiz, that I don't really saw him use the jab much in the fight, man. And, you know, in this fight with McKinson, I think he was maybe a little bit impatient because he was back in the ring, man. Vergil Ortiz, respect, because he just wanted to get back in that ring. You know what I'm saying? He was just itching. He was antsy to get back in that ring and prove the world greatness. And you know, I appreciate that. Definitely, I appreciate, you know, Vergil Ortiz. I love what I see in his fights. But this is what I'm trying to say, man. To everyone out there who's saying, yeah, you know, Vergil Ennis, they've been saying it for years. I think years plural. At least one in a year and a half. You know, who should fight next is Vergil Ortiz and Ennis. Who should fight next is Vergil Ortiz and Ennis. I mean, people have been saying that for so long, and I don't get caught up in that stuff. Check out all my videos, man. Check out the content. Go way back. I don't really talk about that because I'm more realistic. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen soon, ladies and gentlemen. Ennis is, you know, they're not going to throw Vergil Ortiz in there with Ennis. This is what I think is more realistic and what should happen, okay? Because it's probably going to be Bud Crawford, but it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, right? Oh, then you think that, you know, they shouldn't have, Oscar won't throw him in there with Ennis, but he will with Bud. Most likely with Bud, because just for the fact of the namesake, Bud carries that clout more, it seems like. In my humble opinion, it seems like Bud is a little bit more, you know, has more clout, the legacy. You know, I'm not taking, you know, man, I got to tell you, got to set things straight, and I've been saying this for a minute. You know, got to take nothing away from Bud. He has legacy accomplishments in his career. Legacy accomplishments. I don't have to go back on all that, but you know, I think maybe for namesake and to build Vergil Ortiz's name up more, maybe it would be more for Bud Crawford to fight. You know what I'm saying? Also, Vergil Ortiz is number one contender. You know, mandatory, whatever they want to call it, to fight Bud for the WBO. But you know what I'm saying? But I think more realistically, also when we talk about levels now, here we go. Conor Benn would be nice. Now Keith Thurman, you know, I know Keith Thurman's calling out all these guys, man. But Keith Thurman, yeah, I don't really consider him too much lately. But hey, he's up there. He's up there. I'm not so sure, man. I'm not so sure Vergil Ortiz can beat Keith. Maybe he can though, because them body shots. And y'all know the weakness of Keith is the body shots, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know that. Keith Thurman versus Keith Thurman versus Vergil Ortiz would be more on the safer side for Vergil Ortiz, in my humble opinion, as opposed to Vergil Ortiz fighting Bud or Ennis. And I'm not even going to mention Spence because I don't think there's levels to this, ladies and gentlemen. And this is all due respect to Vergil, but I think that's where he's at, man. I think that's where Vergil's at right now, and there's no knock on that, because now I don't know what the freak is going on between Conor Benn and freaking Eubank Jr. I pushed a video on that, explaining that recently. Get to freaking fighting. Conor Benn, please get to fighting. I want to see him more in the ring too. That's another guy I like, man. Conor Benn, you know what I'm saying? I like him. And you know, like I said, you follow me long enough, I've given my props to Conor Benn. I like him. Check out my channel, man. You can go back. You'll see those thumbnails. You'll see what I say about Conor. I like him. I'm not saying he's the best in the world. I'm not saying he's, you know, freaking another Floyd Mayweather. I never said that about any of these fighters, because nobody's going to be another Floyd Mayweather. Nobody's going to be another Fury. No one's going to be another, you know what I'm saying? Put the name on it, whatever you want. You know, each fighter is their own style and they're original, you know, and it is what it is. But no knock on Vergil. I think Vergil and Conor, that would be a nice fight. That Conor Benn is recent. He's calling out Vergil Ortiz too. He's also calling out Tyrone Ennis. I don't think freaking, you know what I'm saying, if I'm not mistaken, Eddie Hearn is handling Conor Benn. I don't mean it in a rude way to say that, but you know, these promoters, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know the MO. Y'all know the MO. Please don't act like you don't know. You know what I'm saying? People out there, don't act like we don't know what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the story there when it comes to promoters and how they work these fighters. Okay, so what I'm saying here is this: I don't think Hearn will throw. No way, Hearn won't throw Conor Benn in there with Ennis. Yeah, right. More feasible would be more action-packed fight, and when we talk about levels, Conor Benn versus Vergil Ortiz would be cool. Conor Benn versus Vergil Ortiz would be awesome. Vergil Ortiz versus Stanionis. Did they fight already? I don't even remember, but I don't think they have. No, they haven't fought. They haven't. It was Mean Machine. So Vergil Ortiz versus Stanionis, Vergil Ortiz versus Conor Benn, maybe Vergil Ortiz versus Keith Thurman. That's the more realistic thing here, ladies and gentlemen. And I guess I could say it like this: mark my words, it's not going to be Ennis next, and probably Bud Crawford. It will. That would be nice, because Bud Crawford also has been expressing interest in fighting Vergil Ortiz. Check out my last live session. I broke that all down. So we'll see though, man. And that's where I see Vergil Ortiz, honestly. That's where I see him. I think he needs to work a little bit more, man. Work a little bit more on the fundamentals, because y'all know the MO. Y'all know the story. Knockout artists aren't always gonna, win against these highly intelligent, high IQ boxers. And I can give you many examples on that, historically speaking and recently speaking. And we can see it clearly. You can just see it, ladies and gentlemen. So that's where I think Vergil Ortiz is at, and it's no knock at all on him. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I see him when it comes to you comparing these fighters. When we compare these guys in the welterweight division, where Vergil's at, but hey, respect, man. We'll see what happens next. I'm definitely hoping the best for Vergil Ortiz, and of course I'm going to keep following him because I like him. So definitely, man, we'll see what's next. Who do you guys think is next? So thank you guys so much, man. What do you guys think? Who should be next for Vergil Ortiz? Go ahead and comment in the comment section. Go ahead and Playback Family in the comment section. Thank you guys so much, man. RENEBOXYOUNG, the platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, simply talk about sport of boxing, level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Subscribers since day one. Everybody, appreciate y'all supporting, sharing, liking, notification bell, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to support via Cash App, $RENEBOXYOUNG, Cash App, $RENEBOXYOUNG. Peace out.